Good morning and welcome back. We now turn to our press segment where we shed light on most prominent headlines in today's newspaper. Of course, the papers published on Saturday had a number of files, topping of which is the arrival of our national football team from the World Cup 2026 after a great performance. The papers also tackled the expected reception by the President, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, to the national team and the rest of the administrative people. Among the topics, the papers focused on where the recent developments in the region after the United States resumed the strikes on Tehran and its retaliation. We start from Jamhuriya and we read, Minister of Youth and Sports says to the national soccer team, you have presented a patriotic epic that shall always be a source of pride for all Egyptians. And 3 ministers received the national team upon its arrival. And hundreds give heroes welcome to Egypt after best World Cup performance. Hundreds of supporters welcomed home Egypt's national football team after the country's best performance at a World Cup, which ended this time with a thrilling last 16 exit to Argentina. A sea of fans dressed in red, white and black filled the grounds outside the airport in Al Alamein on Friday, where the pharaohs boarded an open bus for a parade through the coastal city. News, and from Egypt today we read President al-Sisi to receive Egypt national football team on Saturday. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi will receive the national team along with its coaching staff and management on Saturday. Since early Friday morning, Egyptians from all governorates gathered alongside prominent figures from the arts and politics have flocked to New Alamein city to take part in this official and public reception celebrating the team's historic performance at the 2026 World Cup. And from Al-Ahram online we read Foreign Minister Abdulati renews condemnation of Iran attacks on Gulf Jordan. Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati renewed Egypt's condemnation of the recent Iranian attacks targeting several Gulf countries and Jordan during separate phone calls with a number of his Arab counterparts. The Foreign Ministry said on Friday the call with Arab top diplomats, which included Jordanian FM Ayman Safadi, Kuwaiti FM Jaber Al-Ahmad Al-Sabbah, Bahraini Foreign Minister Abdulatif bin Rashid Al-Zayani and Qatari Foreign Minister Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al-Thani took place as part of ongoing joint Arab-Egypt coordination and consultations amidst regional escalation. The ministers discussed the latest regional developments regarding the Iranian attacks, reviewed measures taken to address their repercussions, and checked on the safety of citizens. During the calls, Abdulati stressed the importance of respecting the sovereignty, unity and territorial integrity of the Arab countries and all Gulf states. He reaffirmed Egypt's solidarity with the Arab states as well as its categorical rejection of any attack that undermines their security, sovereignty or threatens the safety and stability of their people. The top diplomat underscored Cairo's full support for all measures these countries take to safeguard their security and territorial integrity. He further emphasized the close fraternal ties among Arab nations and the unity of their shared destiny, stressing that the security of Arab states is integral to Egypt's national security. To shed more light on our ongoing situation in the Gulf, we are delighted to be joined by our guest, journalist and writer, Dr. Abdulrahman. Good morning, Dr. Amr. Dr.
Abdulrahman. Good morning to you. Hello to you and to the dear viewers.
Hope you have a good morning and a lovely day.
Same for you and the dear viewers all over Egypt and the Arabic world.
Of course, U.S. and Iran trade attacks as Khamenei is buried. The U.S. and Iran again traded strikes and exchanges that continued into Thursday. This, as observers reported, a dramatic drop in the number of ships traveling through the Strait of Hormuz. Dr. Amr,
Yes.
We'd like to ask you, how do you assess the current situation on the ground in Lebanon in light of the recent Israeli strikes?
Okay, that's a very important question on a very critical time. Today we have expected, by today, we were expecting the situation to return to be at least status quo before the Israeli-American aggression against Iran and against Lebanon, as well as a consequence of aggression against Iran. But what's going on is against the deal that was signed in Europe between the two sides of that deal, which is Iran and the U.S. administration. So today, and yesterday, and the day before yesterday, each and every day there are strikes and brutal strikes against civilians in Lebanon, targeting houses, targeting mosques, targeting lives at large scale, and targeting also biting up more and more lands under the Zionist occupation. And they call what they bite, they call what they occupy, they call it a buffer zone. And that is an outrageous description for occupation. If so, each and every country can bite or occupy a part of the other state in the neighborhood to protect its own safety and claim it's a buffer zone. This is sarcastic. This is outrageous, and this is out against, and the most of all is against the international law. And the international community is demanded to stand against those strikes and to put an end to that strategy. This is a Zionist strategy. It hits, it creates a cause and then use the cause to occupy more and more and more. What's going on in Lebanon is not far from what's going on in Syria. Today also, from time to time, we find strikes to the Arab lands in Syria and so on.
Of course. We have another headline that we'd like to share with you, Dr. Amr, where Trump says U.S. agrees to more Iran talks, but ceasefire is over. President Donald Trump said on Friday the United States has agreed to continue negotiations with Tehran. However, he reiterated that the ceasefire between the two countries is finished. Trump posted on his Truth Social platform, this social media account that he has, Iran had asked the U.S. to continue talks. They had agreed to do so, but the United States had stated to them in no uncertain terms that the ceasefire is over. Trump said in Ankara earlier this week that the April 8th ceasefire, which ended weeks all-out war, but has been marred by repeated lower intensity conflict, was done. The U.S. President also said at the time that he would speak to negotiator Steve Witkoff and his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who have been dealing with the Iranians, but insisted it was up to Tehran to return to the table. The two sides have exchanged fire on several occasions this week, with Tehran targeting commercial ships, Washington carrying out strikes in response, and Iran attacking U.S. assets in Middle Eastern countries with drones and missiles. How do you see this, and how severely could this affect the situation in Lebanon?
Like you kindly mentioned, severely, of course. And I don't believe that the truce is ended. I believe that the World Cup is the one that's ended. It was using the truce to profit from World Cup as a project. And we all witnessed how the World Cup that America run and administrated, it has been the worst competition at all history of sports. The same strategy and the same man who takes or picks the worst policies to run its own World Cup, it's the same man who is masterminding the chaos in Middle East and the Arabic East. Today he has suddenly declared that the truth is over. And suddenly he uses his military bases in Gulf countries to attack Iran and put the Gulf countries in a situation that we can never be envied for. Today, this is we all as Arabs, as regimes, as an Arabic nation, as a united Arabic nation. I won't say nation, but it's one nation. We should realize that the U.S. and the American administration is the true threat right after these units' threat against our own international security. They are suddenly striking Iran, claiming the same list of false reasons that Iran didn't commit to what or didn't commit to that, and then they push Iran to answer. The strikes didn't hit Iran from March.
Yes, yes, Dr. Amr.
It came from the American bases,
yes.
along with another base in Central Asia. So I believe this is the righteous action from Iran to answer to the attack, especially that it was just burying its leader who was assassinated by the Americans throughout the unjust war, the unjust aggression.
Yes, I need your input also, and we read from Al-Akhbar some updates regarding Lebanon. The Lebanese President Joseph Aoun announces his insistence on the negotiating track. Lebanese President defends negotiations. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun on Friday defended his decision to pursue negotiations. This as Israel strikes across southern Lebanon wounded 2 people. Regarding this, Dr. Amr, and after Friday's strikes come as Lebanon and Israel are set to meet for a new round of talks in Rome next week. I need your input in this, please.
Well, pleasure, of course, and I believe that Mr. Joseph Aoun, he's speaking of the only alternative he has got. He has got no other options to deal with the aggression, this unit's aggression against its own land. He cannot counterpart or face or push an army against the Israeli army. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have the strong army that can protect its own land. So he's going for the one and only option that he has. And of course, negotiation is the only option he's got.
Yes.
And
yes,
that
Dr.
doesn't
Amr,
mean that Israel is not responsible for this situation.
Dr. Amr, I'm really happy you were with us today, and thank you for your very insightful remarks. We now conclude this segment for today, and we're back with the rest of the segments of Good Morning Show.